Okay, all right, folks. We're back on the set. We're back on the set.
A little technical difficulty. Little technical difficulty.
It's all good. It's all good. We're here now.
Yeah.
What we talking about today, Jay?
Yeah. Let's get on this topic.
Yeah. All right. Topic today.
Yeah.
When people are trifling, what do you do? I mean, you know.
People are trifling.
Yeah.
What do you do?
What is trifling? Yeah.
Let's define that first.
Let's start with that. Yeah.
All right. Let's start with a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe you have best friends and you find out that they giving out information, stuff that you think you gotta trust, with them, or you believe that y'all keepsake and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's stuff that you only talk between yourself, and then it comes out. What do? And not only that, but they do everything. They can apologize. Sometimes people slip, make mistakes. Okay, but instead of apologizing, trying to make amends and all that, they defending themselves. They do everything except come correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. And okay, here's another one.
So trifling is just low that.
Just that
nigga
dirty down there. Dirty throw down.
Wow.
Yeah. You got dysfunctional families. And you have some families that are so dysfunctional. The friends treat you better than people in the family.
Okay.
Family could be they turn on you, lie on you. Be tripping, do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, dirty low down.
Okay.
They're just dirty low down.
So like a snake-like character, right?
Snake-like character.
Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snake-like.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
What do you do?
Feed them with a long handle or something.
What should you do? I mean,
or cut them loose.
It's a saying, and I heard Oprah say this about a couple of years ago. And I thought about that, and it's sort of, it rings true. I mean, honestly, but when a person show you who they really are, believe them.
Yeah.
So just, when a person show you who they are, that's who they are. No mistaking about it.
That's true.
No mistaking about it. When they show you who they are, there's no mistaking about it. Their true self. And so now, it's kind of funny that how sometimes, I'm not saying this is it's always been, but it takes, some period of time before you realize that about a person. You have to get to, get in them, hear them, see their surroundings. But then you got those that are so snake-like that soon, like right off the bat, you see their character.
That's true.
That's true. So a person like that's somebody you want to distance yourself from, because it's only gonna get worse. Right. It's only gonna get worse. So I'm learning that when I see that, especially right off the bat, I'm going the other way. I'm gonna treat you with a long handle spoon.
Exactly.
I got to, because people have gotten hurt. If you look at that kind of attitude, that kind of character, people have gotten hurt and lives have been lost because of things like that.
Oh, absolutely.
And so you got to know who you are. So as a woman, as a mature woman, or as a mature man, if when you see that kind of thing, and that you don't want that in your circle or around you, then the best thing for you to do is stay far away from that, because things have known to happen.
That's right.
People have gotten hurt.
That's right.
Things. I mean, and that's just not. Look. This 2017. How many ever days I got left, I ain't trying to go nowhere fast. I want to enjoy my life. I choose to be drama free. That's the choice I made, to be drama free from a lot of stuff. So in saying that, I can make the choice as to who I want in my circle or not. That's my choice to make. So say what you want to say about me or whatever, that's my choice. And I don't want that kind of thing in my psyche, in my spirit or anything like that. So when a person is trifling, take that somewhere else.
I know that's right.
Take it somewhere else. Not with me. I ain't got
time for that, huh?
Not with me.
Well, I tell you, in 2017, heck, in any year.
Yeah.
And with anybody, any relationship, you have to give it time. And there's all different kinds of reasons why people give it time. Let's say, for instance, between a man and a woman that are dating.
Right.
Okay. They say you don't rush anything. You give it time to let things develop and get to know a person, because eventually a person will reveal their true self.
That's true. Absolutely.
And so that's the main reason why you give things time, to develop, to get at someone's core, at their heart, or at their moral center, to see what they're about. And, sometimes people can be a good judge of character and peep you right off the bat. Yeah. But that's not always the case.
Right.
Sometimes, it may take a little while. But I don't care how much of a master manipulator you are or how good you think you are. Trifling is trifling, and you can't cover that up but for so long.
Yeah.
And I don't do trifling at all.
Right.
Not on any kind of level.
Absolutely.
I tend to surround myself with people that can enhance my life and uplift me, not drag me down.
Absolutely.
And trifling, I ain't got no time for you.
Trifling.
About that, Mr. J?
Well, what should you do? I saw when putting up the posts and informing people, I saw whoop their butt. Actually said it a little different.
Right.
Than
Yeah.
How society
and that's
say.
the first.
Society say a little rough.
Yeah.
Well, that's instinct.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It depends on the situation. Okay. Me personally, I'm a lover, not a fighter, but I can whip butt if I have to.
Yeah. I mean, Miss Mimi just said, that's the, because that stuff builds up on the inside. We're talking about and you get that, especially if you caught in the middle of something that, okay, why am I in the middle of it? And just so that is, but my thing is now, I have never been behind jail bar to this day. Don't end on going. So nobody is that important enough for me. Now, like you said, it depends on the situation. Now, I have a son. Okay.
I know that.
He's 33. but at the age he is now, that most likely be the only reason I would go to jail. Understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If I can avoid the other stuff, because I don't have to have that. I don't. If you a true person, whether it's my brother, my sister, my cousin, whoever, I don't have to have you around me. I don't have to involve my if I know that that's the type of person that you are. I, love you from afar, pray for you and all that, and hope the fact that you can, come out of your ways. But as far as me and you dealing, and I know that that's the type of character that you possess, no.
All right. Well, I'm just going to throw it out there now. Listeners, if you are tuned into the show, 931-220-7063. 931-220-7063. All right, we'd like to hear what you have to say. Okay. Well, I mean, so you say you try to avoid them at all costs. That's what you would do.
I'm talking about in the effect, if it was like me going to jail somebody getting hurt if it got to that level. Yeah, when I say avoid, I mean if I don't have to have you in my life at that point, then I can go on. I can go on. I don't have to have you in my life, in my circle. There's no reason for you to be here at that point. So that's what I'm talking about when I say avoid. If it's something on the outside, I can deal with the situation however it is at that point, and then go on about my life. But most of the time, people that deal like that, it could be a family member, a friend, or whatever. Then you have to meet that thing head on and deal with it. But if it's just like somebody that I'm just meeting on the outside, no, I don't have to deal with you. I don't have to deal with you.
Okay. All right. Well, no, you don't have to deal with them. Now, what I find out, well, sometimes with people, when stuff happens in their life and, they're victimized by other people, the person that's the victim, I find out they wind up getting so stressed, depressed, and all that, and they the victim. And they the victim, and I'm just, curious as to why would somebody wound up being depressed, stressed over what other people do.
Okay. I think for the most part, the answer, especially if you know that it's not you that's causing it. Okay, like if you're caught up in something and you know it wasn't you that caused it wasn't you that put the word out or anything like that, that's the first reaction, is to get angry, to get mad, but I didn't even say I didn't do that. That wasn't me. How could you do that? Okay, is it to say, it's right? Why? I mean, because you would think that, okay, well, if it's not you, then it ain't no reason for you to get all stressed up, because the truth will reveal itself sooner or later. But for the most part, that's a first reaction.
Yeah. And I don't know, I could take it a little bit deeper into that. This is just me personally. Personal character assassinations, I don't take very well. Because I have a public image I'm trying to portray. Mimi Fox. I am Mimi Fox. That's my Twitter handle.
Right.
And I don't want to have negativity, especially when it's lies and just exaggerations and just shenanigans, just someone just being deceitful and just trifling. I don't want to have that shadow in the persona that I'm trying to portray. And so, it would be a little bit more serious for me. I mean, I get what you're saying. Oh, why let it bother you? But when you're trying to do something positive, you don't want that negativity attached to you. You know what I'm saying? So
I get that.
I mean, I understand that, but I mean, what can a person do to stop it?
I mean, it's not a matter of what can a person do to stop it, because you can't control other people. And even with what I just said, I'm not gonna allow that negativity to steal my joy. I just don't want it circling around me. Of course, everybody got haters, so you got people that's jealous of you, people that want to be you, and there ain't nothing you can do about that. It is what it is. You just try and take time picking your friends and who you want in your inner circle. Everybody got the probationary period, and some may be longer than others. But just be cautious on who you let in. Who you let in.
Right.
That's true.
Just keep your head up. That's all you can do. Because like you said, at the end of the day, you can't control what nobody say or do. And I long ago stopped trying to convince people of anything. Trying to bring them to my side. I don't waste no time in doing that, because you know what, I can't make nobody think or feel or see things the way I want them to think, feel, or see them. Everybody got their own mind, their own opinions, and they're gonna believe what they want to believe at the end of the day. So I don't waste my energy in doing that.
So the way I look at it now, and the way I see it now, for me in the years where I am now, it's a whole lot easier to do exactly just what you said. Let that stuff just fly, over my head. In my younger years, my fuse was short. My fuse was real short then, Mimi. Okay, I just never had a tolerance for that kind of stuff. Never want, and so my fuse was short. a whole lot shorter. And so now when I look at, now as opposed to where I was, this is a big feat for me. I mean, honestly, this is a big feat, and I'm thankful for that, and I'm so glad about it, because those times pass. But I've learned a whole lot too as I mature, to see that's the most important thing. And see, that's another thing that leads me to believe, when you see a person like that with the trifling characteristic, or that, the way they are, in any age, because I think, and I'm sure that each one of us, and when I say each one of us, I'm talking to the viewers, have enough in their own personal daily life to deal with, and
Absolutely.
if you putting full steam ahead and full efforts into your own personal life, why do you have, I'm not asking the question, I'm just saying, I'm just making a statement when I say this. You ain't got time to be fooling around in another grown person's life and what they doing and what they not doing.
Exactly.
Exactly. Unless you just ain't got nothing else to do, and then if that's the case, then you need to get some business about yourself, whatever that is.
Right. Because I know people. I have experienced people. A former friend. She's passed on, but we eventually were on the outs for probably the last 10 years, and it was because I discovered that she feeds on drama. Okay, this individual was married and she was a housewife, so she didn't work. She never worked. And they had one son together that was still in the home. And so that was pretty much her life. Her husband and her son in her home. And, that can get a little routine, a little mundane for some people. Okay? Me, I'm not cut out to be a housewife sitting at home. I got to, my mind's fast. I got to be working, doing something. Well, she was, okay with that. But I guess she had some challenges with it because she needed to create drama. Okay. And she would do that with our circle of friends to have something to talk about, and try and pit one of us against the other. Right. Just so that she felt relevant. And it's so very sad. That was some years ago, and of course I was young and I didn't really see it for what it was right away. But it took some years of going through all that before I peeped her and figured out and started giving her the long handle spoon. But what you said just a moment ago about people that feed into that drama and want to create drama and they have too much time on their hands, when you said that, one thing just came straight to my mind, and that I have always shared with a bunch of people. It is the same reason why I do not watch reality TV. I don't care about what's going on in the Kardashians' life. Or what's going on with the housewives over here in Orange County and all that foolishness. I got my own life. So people that tend to watch those kind of things, in my opinion, I don't want to offend any listeners or viewers, but in my opinion, if you really get into all that reality stuff, you kind of probably got too much time on your hand if you're drawn into somebody else's drama. And all of those reality shows are nothing but drama. There's a whole lot of trifling people on them reality shows. Okay, I know that just from the infomercials that come across. I don't watch any of them.
Yeah, I agree that those reality shows, and the thing about it, and I'm not gonna get into too much Bible, but this is a related statement out of the Bible, quotation out of the Bible. As a man thinketh, or as a person thinketh, so is he. So if you're and jumping off of what you just said, Mimi, if you heavily watching reality show after reality show, and they're basically all drama. All of them is just trifling drama. Who done did this? Who done turned 180 or 360 on this person and all this and
who's husband?
Right. And who trying to undermine and all this kind of. Even family. I mean, you see dysfunctional family, you see dysfunctional friends, you see it goes on. I mean, and And even those reality shows is stemmed into religious gospel people. I mean, and the folk that you supposed to be,
Mary
that should be, people you should be looking, it should be setting example because they're in a position of the religious field, and people look up to them. Then when you see how they really act, so I mean, it penetrates your mind, and the more you stay around something, the more likely you adapt to that way of life and that way of thinking. And it's the same thing about choose your friends wisely, who you hang around with, because one type of character will pull on the other type of character. It just depends on who's the strongest and who's the weakest.
That's true,
right? So if that totally opposites, I still got a problem with that statement. Opposites attract. I just got a problem with that statement. I don't. Me personally, I don't think opposites attract. I think it's something within the possession of that person that, even though you're opposite, is something within the possession of that person that the other opposite is desiring, but not so much the opposite.
Well,
the opposite.
I always took that phrase "opposites attract" to mean one particular thing: man, woman.
Oh, I never thought of it like that.
That's the only way I ever applied that.
Okay.
I never took it to mean that, say, me and you. Okay, you're man, I'm woman. That you like football, basketball, and soccer, and I like knitting, needlepoint, and crocheting. Okay, those things being vastly different, but they're not opposite. They're just vastly different. Right. So those differences, though, can be construed as opposite.
Yeah,
and
they're right.
Of course,
the opposites. Yeah,
they don't attract. Though.
Right.
And so I always took to mean just like gender. People with shared interests typically tend to get along. Not different interests, but people with things in common.
Right.
So I never took it that way. The way most people do. I always took it, to like.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, that's a positive way of looking at it. Yeah, that's a positive way. Yeah. I always looked at it as far as interest and character.
Right.
So as far as.
Well, I guess that could be true if you think about, say, maybe a passive individual and what's the opposite of passive? Maybe a
dominant, aggressive.
Because two aggressive people wouldn't get along.
No.
And two passive people, I don't know where that would go, but that would be an instance where the opposite might actually attract. So maybe I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Matter of interpretation, I guess.
Yeah. I tell you one opposite that I have seen over and over and over again to not seem to work out too well, where you have one person who's a very active person. They're involved in a whole lot of things. They just active, and then the one person will say, "Well, I admire that." They say, "I admire that in you," and they want to hook up with the person. Then when they hook up with the person, why you gotta be on the go all the time? Why you gotta be, But that's what attracted you. And then it turns out, and I have seen that over and over again. I mean, and if you listen to some of the reports or statistics and stories of some of these actors and actresses, the big time Hollywood actresses, they'll marry somebody. Many of them tend to marry within the society, the Hollywood society. But then you'll find some that will marry outside the Hollywood society, and they are totally opposite. Where that an actor, a real popular actor, is on the go quite a bit, and the other one is at home, or not doing much. And I've read several of them, and it didn't work out a lot of time because they were saying they were complaining too much about them being on the go doing their job.
That's an example of of things that can bring two people together can also pull two people apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially something like what you described, Hollywood people that are on the go a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when you're off on location doing for 6 months making a movie, you know, and your partner is off 3 months on a different location making a movie.
Yeah.
You know, that could be a lot of strain on a marriage.
Yeah.
But yet you met on the movie set that you were doing together. You see what I'm saying? What brought you together could also tear you apart.
Yeah. Good. That's a good point.
Which kind of goes back to what Debbie was saying. You know, sometimes we guys got to be honest about who it is that coming into our circle. You know, and sometimes we don't be honest, like you said. You know, what people show you, that's who they are. Sometimes we might be pulling trifling people in our circle, and they have actually shown themselves as trifling. All right, and which brings, you know, which takes me to an interesting thought. If you've seen somebody, say like, okay, in a relationship, you've seen somebody who's trifling with somebody else, yet they break up, but you go get them. Now you saw how they were with somebody else.
Sandra Bullock did that. Sandra Bullock, the actress.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And you take them on, and now they trifling with you. You get all mad and everything, and hating on them and all that. But here comes the blow punch, or the punch blow. Whose fault is that?
Nobody but yours.
Oh.
And see, that's the thing. We talk about, you know, on this show several times, you know, we talk about the truth of the matter, you know, what the truth is. Whatever your truth is, just deal with it, accept it. Now, whether you do it at that point, that's totally left up to you. But sooner or later, you gonna have to deal with that truth, whatever it is. So I'm at the point, I choose to deal with that thing now, and let's all that. Because I'm not 25, no. 25, 35, those years are long gone. I ain't got that kind of time. Nor do I want to possess that kind, you know, that kind of energy into useless moments, useless minutes. For what? You know, the truth is the truth. Now, whether you choose to deal with it or accept it or not, that's on you, but it's still the truth.
That's right.
It's still the truth.
Yeah.
So I have, you know, and you know, and we're talking about, you know, how do you deal with a trifling person, you know. I too had a situation, you know, Miss Mimi, some years ago with my best friend. She back in Detroit and everything, and it was actually her. We were all in the same class together, but my best friend and I were best friends, but she was friends with her, and I met her through my best friend. So even though we were in the same class together, I wasn't feeling her like I was feeling my best friend, you know, put it that way. And so she saw that in us and didn't like the relationship that me and her had, and came in the middle of that. But we allowed it. I mean, we talk about this, you know, later over the years, is that we allowed it to happen. And I realized that after I had talked to her and we got this thing straight about, you know, how the rumors came out and how it was so intricately put together and everything, and who the person was. And then when she found out who it was, she was like, you was right about it. And to this day, she still tries to be that friend to her. Okay, but guess what? This girl is still exhibiting the same qualities that she. I mean, it's even worse now.
No growth.
No growth.
Oh wow.
You know,
That's
so she's
sad.
still. You know, my girlfriend is still trying to be friends with her, and over 30-something years. Over 30-something years, she's still trying to gear her along, trying to, you know, show her things, trying to talk to her, trying to be a friend to her, and she's still like, and guess what? I can tell her I said hi, but I know who you are. Even though I'm thousands and thousands of miles away, and it's been 30 and some years later, I'm not mad at you. I just know who you are. And because tell her I said hey when we come to the class reunion, I say, hey girl, how you doing? How's the family? That type of stuff. But I know who you are, and I'm not mad. I'm done with that. I'm not mad. I just know who you are.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
you just know who they are.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's crucial.
Well, yep.
I have a phrase that I live by. And, you know, you guys have heard me say it in different respects about being self-aware in a relationship. But you also have to be aware of those around you too. You know, and their true selves, and be very careful about who you do allow in your inner circle. Because I do believe every girlfriend has gone through something similar to what you just described. I know that I have more than one occasion. You know, people. I mean, jealousy can really rear its ugly head and destroy something good if you allow it to. If they allow it to take over and take control and guide their actions. And in that scenario that you just described, that's exactly what happened.
Right.
The one girl was jealous of you and the friendship of the other girl, and she came in between you two. You know. And yeah, you said after some time, you know, you guys realized that, well, you allowed it to happen. You know, hindsight, they say, it's 2020. You know? And everybody goes through it. Yeah. Everybody goes through that.
Yeah.
But about being trifling.
About being trifling.
It just reminds me. I just have to say this.
Going down back there.
I mean, really, because the same individual that I spoke about 10, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I just remember this one time she was at my home. And she had never met any of my family, but I was on the phone with my mom. And my mom's been gone since 2009. But she was on the phone talking to her, and she said, you know, I love your daughter, but your daughter trifling. Now, she said this to my mother in front of me about me, right? I was floored. You know, but mom, of course, you know, mom straight up told me, hold on, honey. Yeah. That's what daughter you're talking about. And she might be a lot of things, but trifling she is not. And, you know, she just thought that she would be able to get away in saying that to my mom. Oh my gosh. You know, that is just terrible. I should have I should have ended that relationship. Okay, at that point. Yeah. But I didn't. I continued on. She apologized and I continued on. And at the end of the day, like we've already discussed, you give enough time, a person will reveal their true self, and she did. And yes, she got cut off.
And why she calling you trifling? She was the one trifling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, yeah. I think she knew it at the end too, because I kind of started coming around to visit her during her last 18 months of life, and tried to help her out some, you know, because we were best friends at one point, you know. And she made the comment because she was having all these health issues and whatnot, and her husband had passed before her, and then her sister had passed just maybe 6 months later, and she said, you know, I think I'm being punished for everything I did in my life. And I just looked at her. And I didn't want to lie to her and say, no, I don't think so. I just looked at her. You know, I'm not wishing it on you. You made that discovery on your own. Your own conscience brought that to you. Okay? Yeah. I was being the bigger person and trying to help you out in your final days, final weeks, and final months. You know, you came to that conclusion on your own. I ain't going to tell you that you're wrong.
Well, that's a good example, because a lot of times you don't have to say anything. Sometimes folk be ready to, they just be ready to fuss, cuss, fight, and everything. They got to give a response, basically. They got to make a response. But sometimes you don't have to say a single word. I'm a firm believer on this, that people are aware that if you've been medically declared not, I say N-O-T, not mentally deficient, then you're opposite of that. Opposite of deficient is sufficient, meaning you have ability to reason, to ration, and all that, which means you're aware of everything you do. Some people want to play like they crazy, and you know, but they ain't crazy. They aware of what they do. It's a deliberate decision. Sometimes we give folk excuses, and you know, You know, well, they did it because they didn't sleep good enough. Or what? So you're aware of what you did. You know, you're aware of what you did. You know, and I'll be one to say it. I mean, I'm not saying this no more than what the news media says, so I'm not doing no slandering on this. You know, Trump promised to give his taxes.
All right. How did that turn out for you?
I'm just saying. I mean, was that a trifling act? That was trifling. I'm just gonna say that was trifling. I'm not saying something against. I'm just saying an act. Okay.
Trump is the very definition of trifling. Okay, I'm just gonna say it.
Mimi said it.
I'm just gonna say it. I don't even call him Donald Trump. I call him Donald Duck because he's a quack, and he is trifling.
So, you know, and I listen to some of the people in this party who try to give excuses. You know, just like somebody get up early in the morning, they cranky, and they getting on your nerve. You know, I mean, just giving you a hard time, and then turn around. Either they'll give an excuse, or somebody will give an excuse for them. You know, well, I excuse me because I slept. I didn't have a good night's sleep. You know what you're saying. You know how you're acting to a person. Now, if you're in a bad mood, tell the person, you know, I may not need to be talking to you right now because I'm in a bad mood. I might say something.
Give them that disclaimer.
Okay? Because you know you're in a bad mood. You know you grumpy. Okay? Now, the word that come out of your mouth, because you grumpy, you already know what you're doing. But then you're going to try to put a little cover up on it. Yeah. Try to say, oh, well, you know, I'm like this, and you got to excuse me because I slept bad. All right? Well, Trump does the same thing, you know. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. But just in those same cases, I mean, we find, if you pay attention, when people do trifling things, they try to provide a excuse. I'm talking about deliberate trifling things. I mean, I know some things can be accidental because nobody's perfect, and we do make some mistakes. Well, I won't say innocent mistake. They just be bad choice mistake. But you know, a person who is not trying to be trifling, which might to the person that they offended might you know be received as trifling, will try to make amends to fix that. You know, if they are sincere, because that's not how they really wanted it to come. You know, was trying to make it come off. But those deliberate trifling, trifling.
I mean, you live your life being.
They will. If you pay attention, they'll try to find every excuse to justify or to escape what they did. Yeah.
Deliberately trifling.
Yeah, deliberately trifling. Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
Somebody get caught in the bed with somebody else. Yeah, it wasn't me. It ain't what it looked like.
But I got you on camera.
But it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
But it ain't what it.
That won't mean that video.
And it ain't what it looked like.
Yeah. Wow.
That somebody looked kind of like me. But it ain't what me.
They got the same tattoo I got, but it ain't me.
Oh no, it ain't what you think. It ain't what I think. What my eyes just saw. Really?
I saw you at a restaurant.
Wait a minute, baby. It ain't what you think. Really?
Yeah.
For real? Do you want me to explain this picture that I see? You want me to explain it to you? How graphic you want me to get with this? Wow. Okay. Don't come on.
I saw you at a restaurant. Giving somebody some flowers.
It
wasn't me. Right next to the
I see your car parked across the street.
His Grammy.
Oh, they must have had a car just like mine.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Sorry, R. Kelly. I do love your music, but I just had to say that.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Okay, all right. Right.
Trifling.
Show enough. Show enough trifling. Yeah, yes.
Upside
So what
down,
you do?
back
What
and
do you
forth
do,
trifling.
Jay? I'm done with you. Hey, I see you from afar. You across the street. I'm on this side. Hey, how you doing? Keep on going.
Well, I mean, there are many things a person can do, but here's what I suggest. Personally, this is what I suggest. Because, and once again, there are many things you can do. Yeah, I mean, you have many options. You can fight them, you can cuss them, you can cut them, you can stab them, shoot them,
beat them down.
You beat them down.
Yeah.
You can disown them. You can disassociate them.
But I don't want to go to jail. Though. I ain't finna go.
You can love them. You can forgive them. You can try to heal them. You can pray for them.
You can do all that.
You can do a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
You can do. There's a whole lot of options.
Yeah.
But here's what I say. Out of all the options, what option would be for the best benefit longevity wise for you, for self, longevity wise? Beating them down is temporary.
Yeah.
That's a temporary benefit.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, if you beat them down, they ain't gonna let you keep beating them down for life.
Right.
Okay.
I don't never get my hands dirty. I just had somebody do it for me.
You didn't hear that.
Yeah, you did.
It's still temporary.
Yeah.
It's still temporary.
It depends on
because even if they get killed, even if the person dies then it's still temporary. It's still temporary because somebody might say, well, I'm satisfied now because I beat them down. Or are you really satisfied?
Sometimes people just need a place to put that anger. I try to get that off my chest. Sometimes people just need a place to put that anger, and it really does depend on the scenario.
Right.
All right. So no, I'm never ever gonna hurt nobody to the point where there's permanent damage or loss of life and all that. I'm not gonna do that. But I mean, we human.
Well,
you can put it. I mean, it's positive ways
to put that anger. You can do positive things.
Yeah.
You can go pick up a bat and beat the heck out of a brick building. I mean,
yeah,
they ain't gonna do no harm.
They might get you for vandalism on that one.
but you get the gist of what I'm saying. I mean, people sometimes need a place to put their emotions.
Hit the dirt.
But I think if you are a right thinking person, when I say right thinking, your mind is clear, your conscience is clear for the most part, you will find a positive way to misplay. I mean, however you got to do it, besides what we're talking about, okay? But there's ways. So yeah, you're right. There's ways that you can place that anger in another way it won't get you in trouble, and nobody won't end up getting hurt. But that's if you throwing all of that out the window and you don't care nothing about that, and you gotta avenge your name and all of this and all that, then you gonna, I mean, it ain't nothing I can't talk you out of it if your mind is made up to do it.
That's true.
So.
Well,
yeah.
What I say about that is that when people make those rush to judgments like that, like you were just saying, Miss Debbie, I'm just gonna go over there and beat them down. Then and they might say, I don't care. I don't get. At the moment, that's what they're saying because they haven't given it a thought. Okay, but after the cops come and get them and arrest them for assault, and I tell you, I look at the arrest reports just about every other day, and it's been a bunch of folk that I even know. I was like, you went to jail for assault? I mean, who you gonna try to give the beat down to? Because of something that's most likely something stupid.
Oh yeah.
And it's after, and let me tell you, I've been in the jail cells in my younger years because I was driving on suspended license. They arrested me. Okay, but when they arrest you, take you to jail, All right, and they do take people driving on suspended license to jail.
Okay.
All right, unless the cop is nice enough to let you slide. Most of them not though. But this was a long time ago. That you're in the jail with some of everybody.
Right.
Murderers, I mean, of all kinds of crime.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and I'm just listening. I'm just listening to folk, and they, you know, what you in here for? Oh man, I gave this person a beat down. Why is that? Oh man, it was stupid, man. It was just real stupid, man. I should have just left them alone.
Yeah.
I mean, so they're in jail now, and the first thing they're saying is, I should have left it alone.
Yeah.
You know, now I gotta come up with bond money.
Right.
Gotta go to court. Probably gonna get something. Gonna be on probation.
Yeah.
I gotta pay off just because. You know. I said at the moment I didn't care. I'm gonna go do what I'm gonna do instead of taking a moment to think what's gonna be the best thing to do longevity wise for the benefit of yourself. That's why I was saying what out of all the options, try to think what's the best benefit for yourself longevity wise, not temporary, not temporary because. You have to try to see the end of a thing before you actually do the thing. If you any way possible. Some people are trifling to just try to sometimes set you up. Try to set you up.
Set you up for failure.
Yeah.
And you know what? Often it comes from a place of jealousy and sometimes envy.
Right.
Envy is healthy. Jealousy is unhealthy.
Yep.
Well, when I think about that, that jail thing, it shines light on a whole new different level, for me because I've never been behind bars. I don't know what it's like. I ain't never had a jaywalking ticket or nothing like that. I ain't even been inside a jail cell, a jail house. But for me, because I'm a person that like to be outside, I like to be able to go out of my door whenever I want to. So to be locked up for any period of time because of a harsh decision that I made and didn't think about the consequences of my actions. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's an hour or 100 days. To think that even for 2 hours being locked up behind bars and it shares a whole nother light for me. So for me, especially now where I am today, that's not an option. Now, I'm not saying there's not I do have one reason where I will go. But other than that, it's good. It's good enough for me to just cut you off. I can be done with you.
Right. So what is you gonna be done after the beat down? You're gonna be done with them anyway. So so why you gotta go do the extra?
What happens though
I'm just saying
this trifling person really isn't somebody that's in your inner circle or close to you, whether it's someone that is just a mere acquaintance or you barely know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't cut them off if they're not there to be cut off.
Well, I mean, what I do, what interaction we have had, I really don't want it now. Is what I'm saying. I'm really through with that now. What interaction we have had, that was it. That was it as far as I'm concerned. Nice life.
Yeah.
Nice life. I hope you have whatever that is. Nice life.
Well, sometimes, you don't even got to be that you got no interaction with them. Sometimes people are just hating and jealous and want something that you have. And they, make up stuff and create lies and drama. To make you look bad in somebody else's eyes. And you don't even know who this person is.
Right.
And they just hating on you.
Right.
Because they want to be where you at.
Well, that's
you gotta take. I mean, your approach. Yeah, I get what you're saying about cutting them off, but if there was nothing there to cut off, in that scenario, I mean, what you gonna do then?
That goes all the way back to history with Cain and Abel.
How about we go back to that? That
goes all the way.
How about that?
That goes all the way back to Cain and Abel. Cain was so trifling himself, wanted to be where his brother was, and wanted to want what his brother had and all that. And But I mean, people are just like that. I mean, especially, and you know, this is one thing I say, the more you're out as a figure in public, expect more the trifling people, even people you never even knew even existed. I mean, because they may know of you, you may not know of them, and because you are more out in the public, and you become a public figure, and I can name so many people who have battled all kinds of slander, all kinds of trifling people, and never once spoke to them, never had a conversation, but they started all kinds of lies, all kinds of stuff, and you know, and the lies grew, and they got around to, you know, to the innocent person, but this innocent person still would never come in contact with the person who might have started the lie, and all that, you know, the hater or the trifling person that planted whatever it was out there. But I mean, you know, we could go through Martin Luther King, we could go through, you know, there's all kinds of stuff they put out on Martin Luther King, there's all kinds of stuff they put out. I mean, I could just go on several different people, you know, and for no reason. Sometimes folk in their twisted thoughts, and that's how I'm gonna say it, they're not psycho. I tend to say, if we give them the name psycho and they're medically declared not deficient, then we're making an excuse, and they're not being there, so they're hiding under an excuse to give them the privilege to act the way they are, rather than to take responsibility for what they need, what they do. Because you know, we tend to do that in society. We want the doctors to give us, well, you know, somebody who's stuck on just getting attention all the time. So they say, well, they got attention social dysmatic disorder there, and so they give it a medical term. And the reason they give a medical term, so that they could go to your insurance, get you on a plan of some kind of therapy, but won't tell you the truth. No, it's your choices, it's your actions, it's what you meditate on. You need to change the things you think about. You need to make better choices. They won't tell them straight out. They won't put you on medication, on Zac and everything else. So it don't really help a person. If you ask me, if you ask me, based upon that kind of conversation, doctors are trifling. Okay, all right, because I'm just saying it, because the doctors, the medical field, not all doctors, but there are a lot of them. There's a lot of doctors in medical society preys on people that's PREY, preys on people, or predicates on people, to keep that thing rolling with the insurance, pharmaceuticals, all that, to keep the money circulating. And if they can keep you on prescriptions and all that, with so many things they tell you that so many times you don't even need to be on prescriptions, but they won't tell you some honest things that you really could get to for your healing, and like natural stuff, you know, but they won't tell you that. They just rather sign you a prescription. So you know, I mean, trifling people, all right. All right, so maybe how should you handle it?
Well, I would say just take the time to vet the people you allow to become close to you.
That's good.
That's good. I used to have an advisory panel that I would go to. but half of them ended up being trifling. So now I just keep to myself. That's the ultimate thing right there. How do you handle it? Just keep to yourself.
Okay.
Just vent to yourself. Just vent to yourself.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't fool with too many people.
Yeah.
You know, when I was younger, like in my 30s, yeah. But like you so eloquently put a little bit ago, where we at now in life at this age, ain't got time for it.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's true. And it's true. You know,
I don't believe in putting negative energy into the world. First of all, into the world, because what you put out into the world, what you gonna get back.
Absolutely, Mimi. Absolutely.
No.
And you know, I just thought about. Let me just say this. I have we were first cousins. Her day was a day before mine. And every year, ever since we were little girls, you know, old enough, we celebrated our birthday like that whole week, the weekend of just everything. And when I tell you we were opposites, when you talk about personality, we were opposite. I was always kind of, you know, laid back, you know, cool like that. You know, she was, you know, aggressive, boisterous. I mean, just out there like that, you know, like that. And everybody, I mean, wherever we were, women always wanted to fight her. I promise you, they always wanted to fight her. They didn't even know we were cousins. And everybody that did, the women that didn't like her, liked me, and they would always come and be like, yeah, you know, such that, yeah, after the club is over, we gonna, you know, tear that, get it in our butt, you know. And I'd be like, for real? Now I got to go over here and tell her, girl, they planning on jumping on you after the club closed, you know. And so that was always our life, even up, you know, until, well, before she passed, she had straightened up, but she was always, just drama. And I'm like, girl, I'm just gonna have to stop dealing with you after I get that certain age, because I found myself, I'm not finna let a bunch of women jump on her. This is my cousin, you know. And so I got to the point where I found myself doing a lot more fighting in my older ages than I did when we were young. And I'm like, this ain't supposed to be, you know. So I'm gonna have to stop dealing with you. So we stopped hanging out like that. Right. She still went on to do her thing, and I did my thing separately, but we couldn't hang out together because of the type of person she was. And I always, and I loved her. That's my girl, you know.
Feed off of that, you know. Some people feed off of that.
But yeah,
you got all kinds of
it does. But I know for me then and now, especially now, I will not. Yeah, me. I will not. I
don't do it with friends. I will not. So and I no longer do it with family. That's how you deal with trifling people. Y'all hear me out there? All right. I don't do it with friends, and I ain't doing it no more with family. Right. I ain't calling nobody out. I'm just saying.
Right. All right. Well, all right. We've heard those versions. What you do? Okay. Well, me personally, like I said, I would say dealing with trifling people. If you are aware of the person that's the cause of the trifling act, I would say let them know that you're aware, that you're aware of what they, you know, let them know. But then move towards what's going to benefit you best, and that the only thing that's going to benefit you best. It's just to keep it moving. It's just keep it moving. Because anything else might lead you into something that's not going to benefit you. It'll be more harmful for you. Even though you might have that temporary, you know, it just felt good, my fists against their face. I mean, yeah, it might feel good, but what kind of feel good would you have afterwards? All right, especially when the cuffs are on your hand. All right.
Yeah.
So,
especially when the cuffs
clink, clink. Yeah. So.
Wow.
You know, and I'm just going to touch on something as we close. There's a trifling act that the government has done that every single person should know, especially African American, Latinos. Anybody of color, well, it would include Caucasian too, but especially we're going into, you know, the Black History month of February, and leading up to that, there's this video called the 13th, and it's about the 13th Amendment, and it is. I advise anybody listening, or archiving or any kind of way. It's on Netflix. If you have a Netflix account, there may be other ways you could get it. It's called 13th, 13th. It's about the 13th Amendment. There's a clause in there. And I'm going to tell you, this is trifling. The government put this amendment out, brought it into law under the Constitution to say that everybody is given freedom. All races, all creed, everybody is given freedom who is an American. However, the clause says, except for those that have been convicted for a crime.
Yes.
Meaning, if you've ever been convicted of any crime or being convicted of a crime, you are removed from the access and benefits of the earlier part of that amendment that says all people are given freedom. Yeah, and you are now in a position to be treated like a slave in any form of slavery. However, there is a new form of slavery. I advise everybody to go check that out because that is trifling.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying. All right. And like I said, let the person know you know. So that means let the government know that you know. And then move forward. All right. That's all I got to say, y'all. Y'all good?
Bye, Jay.
All
I'm
right.
done.
Bye, y'all.
I done said it.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for tuning
Bye,
in,
Mimi.
y'all.